Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I'm Kinan and this is another episode of me doing things related to cars, and today I'm going off the rails from what I normally do, and I've bought something that I don't normally buy, which is a nice newer car. And I have big plans for this car, but for now I want to just talk to you about what's cool about it. It's a 2016 Macan S, and I found it with low miles, single owner, and I really do think that these are actually crazy bang for the buck cars, because they can be had for like ridiculously cheap. I mean, I say ridiculously cheap, but they're not that cheap. But 28 grand is around what I paid for this, and it's a 40,000 mile 2016, no issues, no accidents, no nothing. Beautiful car, and it's a Porsche, and it's a V6 twin turbo, and it's fast. Anyways, that's enough of me talking for now. Let me show you the car. Okay, so right off the bat, you'll find this car's biggest flaws, and I'll show it to you. And that's, oh look, I've locked the door. What happens? I can't open it. Wait, isn't this a 2016 Porsche that costed like close to 80-90 grand new? Yes, it is actually, but you still have to do this, a button press. That's wild. And you know, I'm used to old cars, so I don't mind it that much, but like, you're buying a Porsche from 2016 and it comes like that. It's kind of wild. Now you'd think, okay, well, maybe there's a push button start, even though that was not there. The comfort access is not there, and I'm sure it may have been an option in 2016, but it's shocking that it wasn't standard either way. Okay, so yeah, you would think you would need a maybe it would have a keyless button press or something like that. No, you still have to take this somewhat pickle phallic looking car thing, and you have to insert it into the thing that normally you put a regular key in, but it's not a regular key, and then things happen. And yes, this is a very lovely dash. It's very beautiful, but it's still what is this? And then you start it by turning it like a regular key. Porsche has this beautiful wheel. Let's get back to the positives now. Porsche has this really gorgeous wheel that they put on pretty much everything, but I'm a big fan. What I'm not a big fan, okay, back to the negatives. Why is there so many buttons? I really cannot fathom why there's so many buttons. Yeah, so why are there so many buttons, Porsche? What are you trying to do? And you would think this is quite a lot of buttons, so you're like, okay, this must have all the options. And then you scroll down. Oh look, what are these? These are like dead buttons where they put things that you don't have the options for and you didn't pay for. I'm sure maybe the Macan doesn't have all of these used. I'm pretty sure all the Porsches use the same center-ish thing. But why are there so many buttons? So they literally have duplicate buttons on each side based on the AC, and then you can like sync them, which is really annoying. And then you look up and you're like, hey look, more buttons. It's like button hell. I don't know why Porsche thinks this is a good idea. That's a terrible idea. Getting in this car, I was not able to do much without like staring at buttons for quite a long time. And then you get on the steering wheel. That's quite beautiful, like I said, and there are just a handful of buttons, actually not a lot of buttons altogether. And the buttons that they do have, like I'm used to BMW's buttons where they have like one side is volume, which this is it, and the other side is an up and down arrow for the music. This doesn't do music. This does some weird thing here with the whatever this is, this little screen. And you know, this screen's kind of cool, I'm a fan, but like these buttons, they don't need to be doing this. That should be like music controls. No, to change the music you have to press this and it only goes forward, from what I can tell. That's not even the worst part. The worst part is this. Whatever this is not a head unit. This is like something out of 2006 where they just figured out there's something called Bluetooth, but not a 2016. And I'll tell you why. So there's like multiple buttons here, right? You would think, okay, that's a phone button. Wait, there's another phone button. Oh wait, there's another phone button. Why are there 3 phone buttons next to each other? I have no idea. Do I need a hang up button and a not hang up button? What's the opposite? Answer button? Why can't they just be one button? Anyway, then it comes to how do we set up, let's go to tuner just because this is how it came. So you say, okay, I need Bluetooth, I need a phone, okay? When I first got this, for some reason, I don't know if it was research or what, it was not show me any phone options. I would click the phone button and it showed up like this. Currently, function currently not available. There was, when you did that, it did the same thing. I don't know what happened, it changed. So now it takes you to find phone after I figured this out. That would have been nice to begin with, but whatever, maybe it was user error. Even though there's 3 phone buttons, they could have all took you there if they're not connected. It's just bad UI. Now, you go back to source, and you look at this, it's like, oh wait, there's no Bluetooth option. Come back. There's no Bluetooth option. They got disc, aux, AM, FM. Hey, look, we're in 2006 with a crappy touch screen that's not even really touch. It's like one of those, you know, you have to kind of push it a little bit hard screens. Not like a, I don't know what they call it, capacitive touch or something like that. One of them is capacitive, one is something else. I can't remember the name. Anyway, yeah, so it has this really crappy touch screen. And so we go to media and we say, okay, how do I get Bluetooth? Well, I found a YouTube video, and you do this. You do options, and then you do set media aux, and then there's a menu called Bluetooth settings, which you can then touch really hardly so it actually clicks, and then you can say new MP3 player, because for some reason they can't just say new phone unless you go to the phone, which is different Bluetooth. It's very complicated and very ugly and very 2006. It's a 2016. This should have CarPlay by now. Actually, the very next year they added CarPlay, so 2017 got CarPlay. Even if it didn't have CarPlay, why is it so bad? BMW figured this out years ago. Why can't Porsche? Now, I guess they did now, but too late. How about the 2016? Anyway, let's go back to another positive thing here. I really love their clocks. Their clocks are awesome. Okay, that's all the positive things I have to say. Just kidding. Before all the Porsche guys come for my head, this car is a great value. It gives you really nice things like these beautiful leather seats that are quite nice and covered in sweat now because it's very hot outside and I have the AC down for this video. And also it has this nice panoramic roof. The back is very nice. It's all quite nice. The leather on the dash is beautiful, really nice quality. And it's quite fun to drive, and that's where I'll get to in the next part. But first, let me just show you this back. It's quite nice in here. I mean, everything in this car is great. Has these little controls. Everything is clean, and this could be had for 28 grand. I mean, I bought my wife a VW, and she'll kill me because I bought this. I bought her a VW Jetta, okay, and it was the GLI, and I paid 32 grand for it, okay. This was 28, and I understand the Jetta was new. But this feels new, and you can get an extended warranty for about 3,000 bucks, and then it's kind of like it is new, because then you just go to the dealership whenever something's wrong. And this is how the trunk looks like. Another cool thing, it came with this thing. This is like 80 bucks, okay? That's pretty cool that it came with this. I don't know why I'm very excited about this, because this actually has no bearing on anything, and I'm keeping it in the garage anyways. Anywho, has this button too, which I'm not used to. Well, my other camera died, so we're using the GoPro now. So, quite beautiful in here, like I said, great all over car. And I really love these quad tips. It's such a like nuance, and SUVs don't normally get these quad tips except for like M's and some crazy cars. This gets quad tips and humongous brakes and really cool like sports car stuff, even though technically it's just an SUV. And I guess Porsche, so you know, sports SUV is this the real sport and SUV. I couldn't even say that right. Anyway, yeah, because most of the time SUVs are not sporty, but this one's quite sporty. It got 6 pistons. If you like 6-piston brakes, check my other video out where we put 6-piston brakes on something that shouldn't have 6-piston brakes. Okay. This is a great segue for me to go drive the car, and I can take you guys with me and give you my thoughts on how it drives and why I think this is really why it's a great value at $28,000 for a relatively new car, and that's because it drives phenomenally. Alright guys, so this is where this car really shines now. We are going to drive it, and I'll give you my impressions and why I think it's such a bargain at $28,000. It gets you a low mile one of these. It's just such a bargain, and I'll start right off the bat, and let's put the sport mode on because it's without the sport mode. It's pretty fast. I can't tell you what speed I was going, but it was pretty quick, and it feels like you're driving like a 911 or something. Like, I don't want to say it. It does not feel like you're driving a 911. It feels more like you're driving a sports car. If you do that in like an X3 or an X5, it's not gonna feel the same thing. You don't get these really nice dual clutch in the new BMWs. You get that like 8-speed auto. It's just not as good. It's not the PDK. And I'm not a Porsche guy, so it's not like a fanboying it. But anyways, like, you just downshift and it's instantaneous, and it doesn't feel like you're driving an SUV. I mean, I take a corner like this quite quickly, and let's slow back down so we don't get a ticket. But you can take a corner very quickly like you're in a sedan, a heavy sedan, like a 5 Series. You know what I'll compare it to? It's like driving a 5 Series as far as handling. It does not feel, and not an M5, like just a regular 5 Series, like maybe Sport Package or something like that. But anyways, it's really good. It handles really good for an SUV. And then it's, at the end of the day, it's like a soccer mom car, but it's cool. It's not like lame. It's not, you go in the X3, that's not, I'm not talking about M's because the M's are better, but so is the turbo version of this. This is just an S. This outclasses all of them, and it's still way cheaper. Like, people don't understand this. $28,000 gets you like a similarly spec'd X3, but that's like a X3 28i with the 4-cylinder. This has a V6 twin turbo, and it's a Porsche. It's just nicer. It's not like a mid-model or bottom model X3. And people are very terrified about this car because of the maintenance. They're like, oh, Porsche must have expensive maintenance. Actually, Porsche's pretty reliable. They're probably better than BMW, in my opinion. I've never heard people have really bad issues with these Porsches if you buy the right ones. I think the 4-cylinders supposedly last forever. The 6-cylinder, like the S, is not as reliable, but still pretty reliable. I don't really hear people having major issues with these, and it's a real thing. I'm sure somebody in the comments is gonna be like, "Ah, my Taycan or whatever, or not Taycan, my Panamera motor blew up or something like that, and my Taycan battery died." Maybe the Taycan battery died. I have no idea about electric cars. Don't ask me. Anyway, this is very reliable. You get an extended warranty when you buy a used one. It's like, for 2 years, I paid $2,400 on the warranty, and you know. Yes, if you don't want to take it to the dealer and have any issues with it, they'll cover it. There are zero issues, and the dealer is quite expensive. So I mean, if you take the parts, I think a lot of the parts should be relatively inexpensive compared to a BMW, or relatively the same. But what you do get is the dealership costs are quite a lot. But you don't have to go to the dealership as much. They don't have like water pump failures all the time, and cooling system needs rebuilding at 100,000 miles, and everything needs rebuilding at 100,000 miles. Actually, there's a handful of like known little things, but other than that, it's quite good. Anyways, I really just wanted to show you guys the driving experience and how it's more like a sedan as far as handling. It handles better than the standard BMWs and Mercedes of the lineup, and it's very comfortable and quiet. So you can still go out with your family, put them in the back seat, they'll be comfortable, road trip, all that goodness, and you will have no issues. You can really enjoy this car. And then somebody pulls up next to you, let's say in a 535 or a 550 even, and you just say, okay, sport mode, and you just drop the gear and disappear. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Subscribe and leave the thumbs up if you liked it and you want to see more of it. I have some pretty big plans for this car. It's not what you expect, and I'll tell you more about these plans in the next video.